My name is Carl Capotorto, and we're walking around in my old neighborhood in the Bronx. This is where I learned how to make a pizza, trained to be an altar boy, remodeled a house against my will, lost a couple of friends to the Son of Sam, discovered disco and busted out a bunch of great disco moves, and just generally tried to go from boy to man. Though I left the Bronx many years ago, it keeps pulling me back in. This neighborhood and my life here is the subject of my new memoir, Twisted Head. This is the site of Cappy's Pizza and Sandwich Shop, where the motto was, "We don't spell good, just cook nice," which my family operated from 1964 until just about 1970. Might have worked out okay had my father not continually thrown people out before they even placed their order for various infractions of the rules, of which there were many. Rules like no running, no jumping, no shouting, no fighting, no, this is not a basketball court, no special orders, no extra cheese, no slices at the table. Today, it's a closed-up martial arts studio, which I think is somehow appropriate. Well, that is the soundtrack of my entire growing up years right there. That's it. What I always loved about this neighborhood is that it's two things. It's very real. There's no nonsense. People tell you exactly where you stand. It's not always pleasant. And the other thing that I really did always appreciate, and appreciate more now, is that all kinds of people live here. It's never been just one kind of person. You'll have a couple of blocks at a time where this is all Jewish, and this is all Italian, and this is all black. So if you take a little walk, you'll hit everybody. And then at public school, you all come together. Well, here we are at Junior High School 135. In the 70s, this was a terrifying place. Terrifying. At that time, the weapon of choice was switchblades. There were no guns to speak of in the schools, but there were switchblades. And you lived in fear of that sound. So I was mugged in just about every corner of this school. In this doorway, actually in this very doorway, I was mugged. In one of these windows right here, we had a math teacher, Miss Davis, and she was very ineffective in the classroom. And she would just stand in the front of the room, like, "Class, come to order, class. Please, class." And there would be like glue sniffing and fornication and switchblade practice. And, "Class, come to order, class." When she could take no more, what she would do is clamber over to the window, jump on the windowsill, open up the window, and half lean out and scream back at us, "I'm gonna jump!" So if you were walking by here at that time, you'd see Miss Davis hanging out of one of these windows screaming, "I'm gonna jump!" Nice. Well, here we are at St. Lucy's Church, which figures pretty largely in Twisted Head, which, by the way, is just the literal translation of my last name, Capotorto. Capotorto, Twisted Head. There's a reason for that. My main memory as we're standing here of this church is that I was an altar boy here. And what me and the other altar boys would do would be we'd meet early backstage in the sacristy, and we'd eat as snacks the unconsecrated hosts, and then we'd like swig back a bottle of wine, you know, to wash it down with. And then we'd clean up and put our vestments on, and suddenly we were very holy when the priests came in. Meantime, just a minute ago, we were eating as a snack the body of Christ. Terrible. Well, our tour ends here in the house that my family and I moved into when I was about 13. Before that, we lived across the schoolyard in a one-bedroom apartment. Then we moved into this huge house, which was fantastic, until I realized that my father wanted to gut it completely, gut it down to the beams, down to the bones, and build it back up again with me as his only helper. Well, it's kind of done right now, and I moved out of here in, I don't know, 1977, I guess, but I keep coming back. My family is still here. I love the borough, and for better or for worse, it's a huge part of who I am. And it is the subject of Twisted Head, my new memoir.